Welcome to Mindblow, the ultimate destination for jaw-dropping content that will surprise, inspire, and entertain you every step of the way. If you love discovering the unexpected, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and share with your friends to keep the excitement going. Your support helps us keep blowing minds and creating content you'll never forget. So buckle up and get ready, because this is just the beginning. August 28, 2025. The world's eyes are fixed on the West Philippine Sea. This is no ordinary body of water, it's a global flashpoint. Here, China's ambitions clash with the Philippines' rights, and now, the United States is in the mix. American warships slice through the waves, sending a message: the era of watching from the sidelines is over. This isn't just about territory, it's a test of international law, freedom of navigation, and the balance of power. Trillions in global trade pass through these waters. A conflict here would cripple supply chains and shock the world economy. The tension is palpable, a standoff between powerful militaries and national pride. Recent confrontations and aggressive maneuvers have pushed the crisis to the brink. The Philippines, once hesitant, now pushes back with resolve. China responds with force. The US draws a line. The time for choosing sides has arrived. This story is about sovereignty, economics, and most importantly, people. Filipino fishermen's livelihoods are at stake. Sailors operate in close quarters where a single mistake could be catastrophic. Leaders in Beijing, Manila, and Washington make decisions that will echo for generations. Understanding this crisis means recognizing the fragile balance that keeps the peace. That balance is now breaking. The world holds its breath, hoping for calm but preparing for the storm. The hum of engines and tense radio chatter signal a crisis at its boiling point. What happens here matters everywhere. The powder keg is primed. Tension in the West Philippine Sea is now dangerously real. The flashpoint, 2nd Thomas Shoal, where the Philippines maintains a tiny outpost on the BRP Sierra Madre. Resupply missions have become high-stakes dramas, with Chinese Coast Guard ships blocking, shadowing, and blasting water cannons at Philippine boats. These are calculated acts of intimidation, not accidents. China's tactics include dangerous maneuvers, cutting off Philippine ships, risking deadly collisions. The international community sees these as violations of maritime law and blatant attempts to assert control. For the Philippines, each successful resupply is a victory for sovereignty. Filipino crews show courage, but the toll is immense. Constant threats, damaged vessels, and mounting stress. The world watches as the Philippines documents these incidents, exposing the pressure it faces. This pattern of aggression has forced the US to respond, turning a regional dispute into a global crisis. The stakes have never been higher. The standoff is now impossible to ignore. Watches, holding its breath. The South China Sea is a web of overlapping claims. Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, Taiwan, and the Philippines all stake apart. For decades, diplomacy kept the peace, but China's sweeping 9-line claim changed everything. Since 2013, China has built artificial islands, transforming reefs into military bases with runways and radar. This militarization shocked the region, turning shared waters into a Chinese stronghold. China's actions cut deep into its neighbors' exclusive economic zones, violating international law. The transformation is clear. China isn't sharing, it's dominating. The balance has shifted, and the world is alarmed. The conflict's roots run deep, but the consequences are now global. In 2013, the Philippines challenged China's claims at an international tribunal under UNCLOS. The 2016 ruling was clear: China's 9-line has no legal basis, and its actions violate Philippine rights. China rejected the verdict, ignoring international law and doubling down on its activities. The legal victory gave the Philippines a powerful foundation, but on the water, nothing changed. China's disregard for the ruling is at the heart of today's crisis. The world faces a test. Will the rules-based order hold, or will might make right? For the Philippines and its allies, upholding the ruling is now a central mission. The legal battle is over, but the real fight continues. China's gray zone tactics blur the line between peace and war. Instead of Navy ships, China deploys its massive Coast Guard and a shadowy maritime militia, hundreds of fishing boats acting as state proxies. These vessels swarm disputed areas, block access, and intimidate Filipino fishermen. The human cost is severe: livelihoods destroyed, families pushed into poverty, and a way of life lost. Filipino fishermen face harassment and danger in their own waters, while China's steel hulls dominate the sea. For them, this isn't geopolitics, it's survival. Occasional glimpses of Philippine or American ships offer hope, but the struggle is daily and personal. The world sees the headlines, but for coastal communities this is a fight for dignity and heritage. China's ambitions have a human toll. The shadow war is relentless. The stakes and the partnership have never been higher. The West Philippine Sea is crowded and volatile. One mistake, a collision, a fatality, could ignite a conflict no one wants. The US has clarified an armed attack on Philippine forces triggers its defense treaty. This strengthens deterrence but raises the risk of direct US-China confrontation. Communication channels exist, but China's use of Coast Guard and militia complicates control. A single aggressive act could spark a crisis beyond anyone's control. A conflict here would disrupt global trade and threaten world stability. The standoff is a warning, peace is fragile, and the cost of miscalculation is catastrophic. Warships may patrol, but the real solution lies in diplomacy. The US show of force aims to create space for peaceful resolution, not war. ASEAN's push for a binding code of conduct with China is more urgent than ever. A united Southeast Asia, backed by global partners, could pressure China to negotiate. The 2016 arbitral ruling remains a powerful tool, endorsed by the world, even if rejected by China. International pressure and unity can shape China's behavior over time. The world must not look away. What happens here sets the tone for the 21st century. The path to peace is narrow but essential. The alternative is unthinkable.